case, we are in the Turkish Mosque. Today there is the start of Black Lives Matter UK, not only London but for all UK. What's the program, the purpose?
Well, the purpose is that it's very clear to our judicial system, it's very clear to our law enforcement that, well, to some of them, that Black lives do not matter. So we're not affiliated with the official Black Lives Matter brand, but we fully support it, and we all say at Blackout London, which is my organisation, that all Black lives matter everywhere, and that is the point.
Political struggle, but not only, also music, culture and support in general to life of Black community, and not only in the intersectional view.
Well, yes, I mean there are struggles. If you are Black or of colour, then there are always struggles in these areas, and that is some of the things that we want to tackle. It isn't about being separate, but until people realise that Black lives matter and Black culture matters, then unfortunately we will have to keep having these meetings and having these discussions until the wider community understands that this is not us saying that only Black lives matter, because it's very clear that all lives matter. But what we're doing is we're focusing on the Black lives because it's very clear that those are the ones that are being targeted at the moment.
Hayley is a speaker of young people, and you want to push young Africans who are in the UK, in general people of color, to improve their situation, to feel more confident in society, in politics, and in general in all the social matters. Okay, what's your plan?
My plan is to help young people understand their greatness. I'm an award-winning motivational speaker and entrepreneur. I've won the most influential Black entrepreneur in the UK for under 21s. And what I do is I talk to young people, especially within the ethnic minority group of the Black ethnic group, and allow them to understand that they're great, push them to greatness. At Blackout London, being a youth advocate, I inspire young people to understand, don't allow your ethnic minority background to stop you from going where you need to go. We can all do it together. No one can stand against us if we're standing for us. That's what it's all about, coming together as Black people, coming together as an ethnic group to stand together, to push for something. The fact that we need to be screaming Black Lives Matter does show that Black Lives Matter doesn't matter, because we need to scream it year after year. And I'm not saying that other lives do not matter. Trust me, all lives do matter, but Black Lives Matter at this current time, they're not being appreciated in comparison to other ethnic groups. And allowing young people to understand that, you do matter, and you should go and push for greatness, and you should go and do whatever you need to do to in order to win or to be successful. Then if I need to be the person that needs to help young people do that, then I would definitely be that person. I lead by example. So what I mean by that is me being inspirational, me being motivational, I'm able to inspire other young people to understand, ethnic minority, your age does not stop you from doing what you need to do. So Black lives do matter, because what I do is I allow young people to understand that their greatness is within them.
What's the discrimination? Let's make some examples of discrimination for people of color today in the UK, in particular for the new generations, the people who were born here, who have grown here, who went to school, all schools here. Okay, how are they marginalized now?
I would say that the situation right now when it comes to young people is the fact that we are in the category of, being lazy, not having, and this does affect us when it comes to jobs, because people assume that we don't do anything productive, but we are productive, we are smart, we are educated, and I feel like, unfortunately we do go in a certain stereotype, especially girls, in fact, especially Black boys, they go in a certain stereotype that they're dealing with street crime, they're dealing with fraud and stuff like that, but, it's unfortunate, and these are the stereotypes that we do have to face as, young Black people, which is unfortunate.
And Dean told a story about the University of North London University, which is typically is being attended by many working class, Black working class. But now, what happened to this university?
Hiya. Well, the university is actually called the London Metropolitan University now. It's a university that has traditionally been a university which has attracted poor working class students from London, particularly black and ethnic minority students, particularly mature students as well, people who want a second chance. And what's happened is, over the years, the government have particularly targeted this university with racist legislation. It tried to stop foreign students coming over to the university, saying that they were bogus students, which is a complete and utter lie. It's also recently cut courses. It's cut already. It was one of the prestigious universities which did Caribbean studies. It had the biggest library of Caribbean history books in the UK. And basically, what's happened is they closed that course down because they said it wasn't of economic worth. Actually, lots of black people want to find out about their culture and heritage. And actually, they closed the course down and they destroyed the books. They destroyed the books in that library, which is disgraceful. What's happening as well is every cut that the government does, it tries in the university first. So the government have brought out a new white paper on higher education, which is going to try and turn education into some sort of factory fodder, where university lectures are on 0-hour contracts, where students are taught by computers and not people. And actually, a lot of working class students really can't afford to go to university. They're trying to make the tuition fees more, and one of the things they've done is they've victimised all of the trade unionists who work there. So lots of trade unionists have been bullied, have been made redundant unfairly. 2 trade unionists, Mark Campbell and David Hardman, are now being made redundant, and they're taking out a court case. And they basically, the university are trying to push through savage cuts. They're trying to cut, basically make 400 lecturers and college staff redundant. That's a third of the university staff. They're closing down some of the buildings, and they're going to cram all of the students into one main building on Holloway Road. We think it's absolutely disgusting that doing this. It's a big attack on education. It's a big attack on working class pupils' right to have an education. There's going to be a demonstration on Saturday. This is going to be Saturday the 25th. It's going to be leaving London Metropolitan University on Holloway Road. It's going to be leaving there at 11:30, and it's going to be marching to Highbury Fields, which is only a short march away. But we really want people to come along, because we really want to defend people's right to education, and we really want to say that actually black people, working class people, shouldn't be denied the right to higher education. You know, the Tories want to turn the education system in this country into a system where only the rich elite few can go to university, and the rest of us are doing low menial jobs and 0-hour contracts. We say no to that. We say we're going to fight to defend education. We're going to make sure that education is something that enriches people's lives, and not something which is just used by employers to say you can go over there and do a shit job and rich people can have the best jobs. No, we're going to fight for education.
Barbara is a student. You are originally from Ghana, but you also came here to the Turkish Mosque in London to start Black Lives Matter UK. And this movement in the United States, Black Lives Matter, has 3 founders who are all women. It's something very special, because it's very difficult for a political movement, if not a typically feminist one, to be founded only by women. So the role of women is very important in this movement.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not surprised that 3 women founded the Black Lives Matter movement, because contrary to, what's out there in the public of only black men facing police brutality, black women are left to pick up the pieces, are left to look after family, are left to look after children when the black men have been taken away and or killed. So for me, it's a very natural evolution that black women will be the women that led the movement. And I mean, movements before had always had women play a very important and strong role in it. It's just that they were never recognized for it before. And it's very telling of the times that we're in and how much we've evolved, that black women are initiating and leading such a powerful movement.
Alison is a British student. You are also one of the founders here of Black Lives Matter UK. And in the United States, the main founders are all women. That is also why this movement, also here in London, has many women who are present, who are active, who are really committed. Why?
I honestly don't understand. it baffles me because women aren't really the ones getting killed. Out of all the main hashtags and the main names that you hear of the people that died in America and here, they're all men. And it really has nothing to do with the women except for the fact that they're black. But even other colored women show up, and I really don't understand. Maybe it's because women are natural nurturers, or maybe they care more. I don't know why, but yeah, it's true and it's important, and it's something that should be recognized, that the women are actually the most involved. That's important to recognize.
What do you expect from Black Lives Matter UK? How could it improve the life of people of color in this country?
Well, we definitely have some big plans. We have some really big plans. We have something planned coming soon, and it's Blackout London. That's going to be very exciting and very influential. Like, we're not just here to protest. We are a movement. Black Lives Matter is not just a hashtag, and it's not just protest. It's a movement, and we are moving. We are moving in the direction for change. We want Black lives to matter. We want people in power, like judges, policemen, politicians, to see our skin and know that we are human. We are all a human race. We're not less because we're black. We're all human.
It's not only the relation with the police, but all the aspects of society.
Yes, exactly. Like, if a policeman can gun down a black person, and the judge will pardon that policeman and say, oh, the policeman, that is, in the judge's mind, that's racism, and it's an illness. And politicians too, they're not doing anything about it. They acknowledge the problem, yet they do nothing. It's systemic, and it's institutionalized, and it's wrong that it's built into a system. It's just wrong.
Caprice, you are one of the founders of Black Lives Matter UK, a movement which is where women have a very important role. Also in the United States, we are the three founders are women. Why?
I feel that I just had to stand up and do something, because obviously this is something that's happening now, and it's so important to take action now. It's important to show that we care, not just only for the US, but for the institutional racism that happens here in the UK.
And the plans for the UK?
The plans for the UK, we're going to be at Notting Hill Carnival coming up very soon. We're going to be doing speaking tours in October time, which is really exciting. So we're going to reach out to universities and schools, etc.
Lucy Brown, you are a British girl. You came here to the start of Black Lives Matter UK. You are not black, you are not of African origin, but why did you feel this commitment to this cause?
I'm very lucky to have been born into 1990 and to be living in my early 20s at a time when I haven't had to witness any first-time racism, but what I've witnessed recently is that it's appearing, it's always been there, and I need to learn as much about it as possible in order to conquer it, because I'm fundamentally against it. Any kind of discrimination against anyone I feel is completely wrong, and I feel it's my right while I'm alive to fight it however I can, using any tools I can as well. So I'm trying to think at the moment about how I can help Caprice and Gary, and anything that I can do to be proactive, because at the moment it's going to be a tough road ahead, and I think we're going to go up and down. I think we're going to have to stick together, and yeah, that's what I think. And so far so good, and it's actually quite nice seeing the community that is slowly, but actually probably quite quickly evolving now under our feet. So yeah, it's an exciting time.